Okay guys, this is the third and final part of the overhauling process. Again, I cannot capture the entire overhauling process because it will take hours even I decrease the duration of media to adjust the speed. But since you have already watched the first part of the video, which is more on disassembling, so assembling of course is just a reverse process. Only the checking, disassembling, cleaning, and reassembling of main valve body, regulator valve body, and manual valve body pistons are not being discussed here due to limit of time. But they are just simple. You only need to push each piston to check if it is stuck up or not. Stuck up means when you push the piston, it's not moving on its both direction that is supposed to move. So you have to open it, clean it, and smoothen the piston or the valve body itself. And please check also the concentricity of the spring. Take note guys, do not remove the piston if it is not stuck up. There are multiple pistons in one valve body. Only the stuck up one is advisable to remove, clean, and smoothen the contacting surface. There are also check bolts that you must be aware of. They are tiny, so make sure you don't lose it. What else? The correct installation of transmission range switch. Upon pulling down the transmission, the selecting lever was at neutral position, therefore it should be installed at neutral position also. Align the cutouts using 2 mm straight edge or feeler gauge and then tight the bolts once it was aligned. Another thing is fixing oil seals and gaskets. They are just simple and easy, so it was eliminated in this video. The rest important are here, so keep watching while learning. Okay guys, I have now completed the most sensitive and complicated part of overhauling the transmission. Okay. I'm going to name all the major components of this transmission. This is automatic transmission, 6-speed. I'm going to name one by one, not all, but the most important part of this transmission. I mean the major parts of this transmission until this assembling, as you can see. Okay, let's start from the bottom. So this is the transmission housing. So this is the bell housing, I mean this is the bell housing. Next is the main bulb body, this one. And next from this bulb body plate is the oil pump. It is inside there. So there is a oil pump next to the main bulb body plate, which regulate the automatic transmission fluid oil flow. Okay, the magnet, it catches all the metal particles inside the transmission. Okay, next to that is the stator shaft. So there is a long shaft here with this arm. So this is called stator shaft. It has lock here with the pin. Yes. And this is the regulator bulb body. Okay, this is the regulator bulb body. Okay. And on this side, this is the manual bulb body. Okay, so actually the secondary bulb body is here. This one should be mounted on this place. Okay, this secondary bulb body should be mounted on the place. Okay, but we will fix that one later. Next, we have here the last component I installed is the third shaft. This is called the third shaft. This should rotate clockwise and counterclockwise smoothly without sound, just like this. Okay, and also we have here the differential gear assembly. Okay, this should move also, rotate clockwise and counterclockwise without any noise. Okay, it should be smooth and quiet. And this small one is the detent arm. Okay, this is the detent arm, and what is connected here through the spring is the selector control shaft. Okay, this is the selector control shaft. And beside this one is the parking holder. So this shaft and this arm is a parking holder. Okay, and there are also some check valves here, but I cannot show you all of it because it was already covered by these components. And the air check valves here are this 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is another one more inside here, this place. Okay, so this place. Okay, so this is the main valve body. Again one more time, this is the main valve body plate, and the next one over here inside here is the ATF oil pump. The next is stator shaft, and the next is uh, regulator valve body and the manual valve body, and this third shaft, and differential gear assembly. What else? This is the detent arm, the selector control shaft, and the parking holder. Okay, and these are the check valves. Okay, so now we will proceed installation of the main shaft, counter shaft, secondary shaft, and the idler gear. Okay, so this is the secondary idler gear. Okay, so this is very heavy, and you have to fix them together with care, with a lot of care also, and safety. Okay, so let's go guys, let's do this. Okay guys, since the main shaft, this main shaft, okay, since that main shaft has the longest shaft going to the bottom of this transmission, see that one, that shaft, that is the main shaft. Wait. Okay, that main shaft is touching on this table. So for this main shaft to mesh with all these gears from the counter shaft, secondary shaft, and the third shaft, and this idler gear, I need to put this spacer at the bottom of the transmission's bell housing, so that the end of the main shaft there, as you can see, so that it won't touch into this surface, into the surface of this table. Okay, so it is now properly meshing the gears on each other, as you can see, and the height of the gear also are exactly to each twins. Okay, to its meshing gear. Even here, idler to the secondary shaft, into the counter shaft, and even on this final driven gear, which is the differential gear. Okay, so sometimes you only need to shake it, and a little bit movement up and down while rotating the gears is a big help to fix them together. Okay, so it's not easy, especially if you are alone. I can seek help, I can call a help, but since I can do it by myself, I'm doing this many times. I don't want to disturb them as much as possible. Okay, so they are now perfectly in position. The gears are now meshing exactly to each other, and we are now ready for the other components to fix. Okay, plate, and the pipes, okay, these tubes, sets of tubes here, and including the pork selector, okay. So, and also the new filter, okay. This is a built-in filter inside the transmission, okay. This one, and we have to perform careful inspection before before installing the transmission housing, okay. And also make sure that these surfaces where the gasket, transmission housing gasket, will sit, it should be clean properly, okay. And one more thing, guys, this is very important before installation of transmission housing. As per my experience, I have one very important note and advice to tell you before you install the transmission housing. We have bearing here for the main shaft, okay. We have bearing here for the main shaft. This bearing, upon installation, this bearing is moving while we are trying to install the exact position of transmission housing. So by that time, of course, the whole transmission is moving and not stable. You can't be sure that this bearing is always seated here, okay. So the best way to keep it steady on its position is to apply little amount of grease, okay, because upon installation it might jump here or misalign, okay. So I advise you to put the grease here, small amount of grease, so that it will hold its position, okay. So as per my experience, it happened to me once, and the car was on the road test. I heard the noise, and this is the cause of the noise, okay. This is a very important note to you guys if you are doing the transmission overhauling, okay. And of course, as much as possible, retorque all the bolts. It doesn't matter how many times you retorque it, but the most important is you double check all the bolts and nuts. Anyway, there were no nuts here. Almost all of them are bolts. There are even this lock nut, lock bolt, it was Allen wrench. You should double check the tightness and torque, okay. So let's do this. Let's apply little amount of grease to the needle bearing, okay. So here, and then clean this area, okay. You have to clean this surface in order to stick properly the grease and needle bearing together, okay. So this bearing should be positioned like this, so the grease shall be applied here, okay. This grease this grease won't affect the transmission performance because it's only a grease and it is not excessive. I mean, you only need to apply small amount of grease, okay, then install it like that. See, as you can see, it is stable now, okay. And the other one also, okay, this position should be like this, okay. And you can now apply grease into its surface. So okay, okay. So now that we are ready to fix the transmission housing, let's just make sure again that this transmission housing gasket contacting surface is clean, okay. So should be clean always, okay, 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 okay. So okay, okay. And also double check the transmission housing bearing here. So this bearing should be should move smoothly, and this one also, and this one also, and this gear also should move freely, and all of the bearings, okay. It should be clean and no damage, okay. There should be no damage, so careful inspection is needed also. And this one, this circlip should always at the middle, that position, okay. So let's apply ATF here to all its bearings, okay, 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 okay. Differential, upper differential seat also should be clean and smooth. Okay, we are now ready to install it. It's okay to, this time it's okay to wear a gloves. Start to cover. Yep. Okay. Yes. Next step, we have now already positioned the transmission housing. Okay. So you only need to expand the circlip lock. This circlip lock should be expanded using this tool. We have already installed the transmission housing. As you can see, it is now on its correct position. Installation of this transmission housing, while I expanding this circlip inside here, this circlip lock inside here, I also trying to rotate this gear on this hole, so that this gear will mesh also into the internal gear of the transmission. Okay, therefore the transmission housing will sit on its correct position. And yes, it is now seated. As you can see, it is now seated. Everything is fine. And then that's the time you're going to release this snap ring lock, this one. So this should be on its correct groove also, as you can see there. Okay, and now we are going to proceed to complete the other external transmission component installation. Okay, so everything is just fine. The gasket, of course, the first thing we have to do is install all the transmission housing bolts. Let's go, guys. Okay. Okay, this one is correct. Okay. Okay. And finally guys, this transmission is now ready to install back to the car after installation of some remaining parts like transmission range switch, torque converter, and mounting brackets. Total of 7 liters of new ATF will be refilled, approximately 2.5 liters to the torque converter before installation to the transmission and approximately 4.5 liters to the transmission after installation. Take note again guys, when everything is fixed, turn the ignition switch on, check and clear all the DTCs, reset ECM PCM, and then without driving it, shift each gear and hold it at least 3 to 5 seconds before turning into the next gear. Repeat this cycle 2 to 3 times while waiting the engine to reach its normal operating temperature and while warming your ATF at the same time. After that, you can start driving the car slowly. If there are no related issues, then it's ready for long road test under quality control inspection. Once QCI has passed, drain again the ATF and then refill it with a new final one. I hope you learned a lot from this guys, and I hope you appreciate this video. Thank you for watching.